Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 3 of our Moody Talks on emotion regulation. This week, we are talking about opposite action. Now, opposite action is a skill that DBT talks about that I think a lot of people may think, oh, so you mean just do it, right? Like, just do the exact opposite of what your brain is screaming, right? Well, that's not the case when it comes to opposite action in terms of DBT. It's a gradual moving towards doing an opposite action so that you can feel more comfortable in working on that emotion and that, let's say, like fear or something like that, that you need to learn how to go against the effects that the situation may be having so that maybe you feel more comfortable. And I'm going to go into a bunch of different ways that this works for different emotions. We'll talk about different emotions and what opposite actions you can use when it comes to that. So let's get a little bit of a reminder of emotion regulation. So last week I talked about check the facts. And I highly suggest you go back to watch the Check the Facts video because I do talk about checking the facts in this video as well. And just a quick recap, checking the facts is that you go into the situation, pulling your emotion out of it and figuring out if the emotion you're actually feeling is the one that is supposed to be the emotion you feel. Okay, so we talked about secondary emotions where you may have a primary emotion, such as fear. For me, fear is a primary emotion that I immediately jump to. Anger, which is my secondary emotion. Checking the facts helps you to realize what actual emotion is necessary in the moment and working through that emotion instead of working on an emotion that doesn't actually fit the situation. So another thing that we talk about during this episode is wise mind. Now, wise mind I spoke about in last month's Moody Talks about mindfulness. I did mindfulness first because honestly, all of the other parts of DBT, you use some sort of mindfulness for your coping skills. So let's get into opposite action, okay? Here we go. Use opposite action when your emotions do not fit the facts or when acting on your emotions is not effective. Okay? Every emotion has an action urge. So you have this urge, this body urge to do something. It may be for protection. It may be to get something that you really need or desire, right? Change the emotion by acting opposite to its action urge. Consider these examples. So the emotion being fear, the action urge being running away or avoiding. The opposite action would be to approach, don't avoid. Okay? Fear is the emotion. The action urge is to attack. The opposite action is to gently avoid, be a little nice. Okay? So instead of jumping down someone's throat, stepping back and, kindly asking them questions or asking them not to do something. It's just a way to kind of pull yourself back and deal with the situation with less of a negative context to it. Sadness is the emotion, action urge to withdraw or isolate. The opposite action would to get active. So you're sad and you're hiding yourself away. You're not going out into the world because your depression may be really holding you back and you feel as though you can't really do anything. So the opposite action would be to actually move your body, get yourself moving, get your body moving. And when your body moves, your mind moves and can get you into a different headspace. Okay. And then finally, shame. The action urge would be to hide, avoid. The opposite action would be tell the secret to people who will accept it. So shame, I've discussed shame in past Moody Talks. Shame is when you've gone against a societal norm. And guilt, so people think guilt and shame are about the same thing. They're not really. Guilt is when you go against your own morals, your own compass. Whereas with shame, it's going against the ideals of a social group that you may be in. So that's how that kind of fits in for shame. You'd hide and avoid away from the people that is in that social circle or whatever, instead of telling the secret or something that happened to people in that group who may be able to help you or to accept what has happened and, forgives, right? So how to do opposite action step by step. So here's what comes in is the mindfulness that I've told you about and the checking the facts. So step 1 would be identify and name the emotion you want to change. Okay, let's pick fear. Step 2, check the facts to see if your emotion is justified by the facts. Check also whether the intensity and duration of the emotion fits the facts. Example, irritation fits the facts when your car is cut in front of you. Road rage does not fit, does not justify. The intensity is too much, right? And we've all been in road rage situations. It's not pretty. And maybe I know I haven't felt great about myself afterwards, and you go into a shame spiral about it after, right? So this is where this opposite action really comes in and helps you to better cope. Okay. Third step would be identify and describe your action urges. So, okay, I'm going to go with a fear. Like, let's say you went into a store and something bad happened. Somebody stole your purse, and you everything was lost. Your keys, your identity, your money, all of this stuff was stolen. And whenever you think to go to that shop again, that store again, you get triggered and you are afraid if you go in again, something bad will happen. Okay, so that's the example that I like to use. So when we identify and describe your action urges, if you don't want to go to that store, even though you need to go to that store, you don't want to go to that store, you are avoiding it because you are afraid of what might happen to you. Ask wise mind. So wise mind is the middle road between emotion mind and reasonable mind. Okay, so you're using both reason and emotion to walk the middle path of wise mind. Is expression or acting on this emotion effective in this situation? Okay, let's go back to the store. Is this affecting your life and something that you need to get done? Is this something that is helping or harming you in the end? And when with the store situation, your action urge is to avoid the place. Is that really going to help you? So those are the questions you need to ask. Is it appropriate to feel as though something bad is going to happen again? Now, we don't always get robbed at stores. There's a very, very small portion of people get robbed at stores. So it's most likely not going to happen again, right? Identified opposite actions to your action urges. Okay, so you want to identify what you can do to help yourself to get back into a healthy way of dealing with the situation, right? You don't have to do it like all or nothing, okay? Especially in the beginning. Let's say when you get to the store, that you start to feel clammy, you start to feel scared, that fear is coming back up. Maybe you can park in the parking lot and then walk to the store, right? And if that's too much or just about enough for you, you can leave, right? The next time you're going to go park and you're going to go into the store. You don't have to go all the way into the store. Go through the doors, stand at the side of the doors, but give yourself time to feel the fear and act past that fear, okay? Then the next time, you're going to go in to the store, you're going to grab a cart, and you're going to move the cart around. You don't have to go into an aisle. You don't have to go pick up what you need, but you're taking action to move closer to what you need. So you continue to do these opposite actions, okay, until you start to feel as though you can spend time there. You can work through the fear inside you to get done what you need to get done in that store. That's what opposite action is all about, okay? Then it just, like I said, it's repeat acting opposite to your action urges until your emotion changes. So at some point, while you're making these small steps, you're pulling back on that emotion. You're starting to feel that emotion less and less as you work into getting into the store, to picking up things that you need in the store. And then you'll get to the cashier at some point. And then finally you'll pay and leave. And you'll still have your wallet. You'll still have your car keys. You'll have what was taken from you the first time. And you'll start to feel through opposite action that you can go back and not feel the same emotion, that same fear that you felt before. So that is opposite action. Again, this isn't an all or nothing. When it comes to opposite action, it's never all or nothing for me. I don't just automatically go and do the opposite thing because that's not going to help, right? It's going to probably make you feel worse if you were to just jump right into opposite action of things. And also, we're talking about intensity levels, that kind of thing. If you have an intense feeling of fear, you're going to need to go through that slowly, like I had suggested. You go into the store, you leave if you feel as though you can't push the cart. You feel as though halfway in through the aisles, you just can't do it. It's getting too much for you. You've made it to that point, and that's okay. You can go home and then try again another day. And then finally, as you've gone through it so much, you start to lose that emotion that does not actually fit the situation. So that is opposite action. And I could talk on and on and on all about the different emotions and things and the different opposite actions we could use. But I would love to hear from you if you have any questions on opposite action. Also, the DBT workbook has tons of information on checking the facts and opposite action and all these things that I talk about. I just don't want to push like a half hour's worth of content out there because it's just not necessary, right? But if you have questions or comments, please put them below or DM me and we can talk about it more. I can even do another whole episode, another whole Moody Talk to go into checking the facts and opposite action more. Okay, so I hope this helped, and I will be back next week for our final Moody Talk on emotion regulation. Again, if you want to hear anything for next week, please, again, let me know and I can fit that into our talk. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you again. Bye.